You know that feeling when you've been staring at charts all day for like 6 hours straight and your eyes are burning, and then you finally think you found the perfect setup, you place a trade, and within minutes, you're watching your account bleed red. Then you promise yourself just one more trade to get back to break even. And then you're down even more. I know that feeling because I lived that every single day for over 7 years. You see, there's a sick cycle that 97% of traders get trapped in. You lose money, so you convince yourself you need to learn more. You watch more YouTube videos, you buy another course, you join another Discord group, and you try a new indicator. But deep down, you already know the truth that you don't want to admit. You're not stupid, you actually probably are smarter than most people. You've been successful in other areas of life, you've got a good job, you can figure out complex things, so why the hell can't you make money trading? And here's what's really messing with your head. You know other people are making money from the markets. You see the screenshots, you hear the success stories, and you think, if they can do it, why can't I? And that's the psychological trap that keeps you stuck. You keep thinking the problem is you, that you need more discipline, you need more knowledge, you need better risk management, you need a stronger psychology. But what if I told you the problem isn't you at all? What if the problem is that you're trying to win a chess match against a computer and you're fighting with your bare hands? Because that's exactly what manual trading is in this day and age. Not so long back, I was trapped in that exact same psychological hell. Today, I have millions in prop firm capital and a system that generates consistent returns on that capital. A system being a portfolio of automated strategies that do the work for me. The difference is I stopped fighting machines and I started building them instead. Let me take you back to where this whole journey began. I need you to understand that I wasn't and I'm still not a gifted trader. I was like most of you watching this video, successful in my career at the time, but trapped in the corporate world looking to find a way out. The story of how I got into trading is probably similar to yours and a lot of other people. The early promises I made to myself about what trading would do to my life, and the same delusions that kept millions of people stuck in manual trading hamster wheel. In my early trading career, I had lots of different corporate jobs. I would dot around corporate sales jobs, meeting clients, and I tried to find positions on my TradingView app or on my MetaTrader app on my phone between meetings. I'd come back from work and then I'd look at the charts all day. I'd get up early and look at the charts, and that cycle repeats itself consistently. And I kept telling myself that I could make that way of trading work with that type of lifestyle, but that's not the reality. Now, picture this. Imagine waking up every single day knowing you're about to torture yourself for the next few hours. That was my reality for years. I'm going to walk you through exactly what my days look like as a manual trader, and I guarantee you'll recognize yourself in this story. The obsession, the physical pain, the mental anguish, the lies I told myself, and that's the same reality that 97% of traders live in. I bought the dual monitors, because more is better. I had all my chart notes next to me. I had my trading plan on the wall. I had my MACD, RSI as Confluence. I had all my Forex charts, the calendars open to watch news announcements. I'd be on work Zoom calls on one computer whilst watching the Euro USD on another. I'd wait for the perfect confluence. My back was hurting, my eyes were burning. I remember specifically one day in 2015 when there was a flash crash on the Euro Swiss franc. I mean, look at the screen on the chart right now. It's the biggest crash in currency in the last decade, and I had one of my biggest losses that day. The market moved so quickly against me, stop losses couldn't get triggered, and brokers actually went out of business. I lost everything in my first year of trading. But I picked myself back up. I bounced around a few technical strategies for the next 7 years, always thinking that I needed more analysis or a better indicator, or just something that I was missing. There comes a moment in every failing trader's journey where you have to face the brutal truth. What you're doing isn't working, and it's never going to work for the majority of people. For me, that moment came years later, and I'll never forget, I was actually on another losing day. This was the day that I realized what I was doing was insane. Literally insane, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I'm going to share with you the exact moment that shattered my delusions about manual trading forever. It wasn't necessarily my biggest daily loss, but it was the realization that I've been doing the same thing for years and getting nowhere. 7 years, in fact. It doesn't matter if it was a reversal, trend trading, breakouts. It didn't matter if I was using MACD, RSI, trend lines, order blocks, fair value gaps. The things I was using didn't matter. It was the realization that I was the limiting factor. Because every time I traded these strategies from these gurus, I was the same human. I was flawed, my outlook was flawed, and I only had one piece of the puzzle. I only had a representation of price on a screen with a few pretty lines and indicators added on. In reality, to move any asset, there are millions of transactions happening worldwide, and I only had one piece of the puzzle. price on a screen. That's when it hit me that all of this analysis and chart staring is flawed, because the way I interpret price is completely subjective. At this point, I realized that I needed to completely change my approach in the market if I wanted to do this full time and make a career out of it. Sometimes the universe puts exactly what you need right in front of you when you're ready to receive it. After years of suffering through manual trading, I stumbled across something that would completely change my understanding of how the markets actually work. This wasn't another trading strategy or an indicator. It was a complete paradigm shift. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I discovered that everything I thought I knew about trading was wrong, and how the real traders play this game and how they operate. I stumbled across an article on Forbes about a guy called Jim Simons. Jim ran a hedge fund that was so successful, his performance even beats the great Warren Buffett. But I hadn't heard of Jim. He returned 66% per year for 30 years straight. And people always say consistency is the most important part of trading. And to achieve that result in 30 years was insane. What was even more insane was the fact that the fund was so successful, he paid out all of his investors, closed it down to the public, and only ran it to the people who worked at the company, and he kept everything in-house, and they all became mega wealthy. When Jim died, he had a net worth of around about 31 billion, and he achieved all of that with algorithms. He didn't hire chart technicians or Bloomberg finance commentators. He hired scientists and mathematicians. This was in the 80s and 90s, before modern technology. And from that moment on, I became obsessed with algorithmic trading. Here's where everything gets interesting. Learning to build algorithms was nothing like learning to manual trade. Instead of memorizing chart patterns, trying to predict market movements, I was learning to think like a machine. I was learning to remove emotion bias and human error from the equation. The process was completely different, and so were my results. So let me walk you through exactly what it was like to transition from being a chart-staring manual trader to becoming an algorithmic builder. Because up until recently, you had to learn how to code. You had to learn complex computer skills to be an algo trader. But now we have technology available to us that lets us create strategies by instructing machine learning softwares what to do. So with the advancements of technology like AI and machine learning, the skill set these days isn't to code, but to instruct. The machines do all the heavy lifting for us. So on the screen right now, you're looking at one of those machines. I'm creating strategies without doing any of the heavy lifting or complex skill. Think of yourself like running your own mini little hedge fund or managing a portfolio of automated trading strategies. And the machines build all of these strategies. You are the one to instruct. So there's a moment when you realize you've cracked the code, when you understand that you've been playing the wrong game for this entire time. For me, that moment came when I watched my algorithms make more money in a single day than I had made in years of manual trading. But it wasn't just about the money. It was the complete transformation in how I approached the markets. No more stress, no more emotion, no more secondhand guessing, just cold, calculated, profitable systems doing exactly what they were designed to do. What was weird about this day was the fact that the profit was actually from the week previous, because I hadn't actually checked my charts or accounts for about a week. All of my portfolios or algorithms were running, which is about 10 different strategies on a portfolio, and they were trading a long-only portfolio. And the news came out that a certain US president was getting elected, and it sent the markets climbing up. As this was a long-based index portfolio, I was triggered into a few different trades with trailing stop losses, and the rest is history. I didn't try to predict or when to get in. My entry logic for the algos did. I wasn't staring at my screens or waiting for my take profit or hit. I wasn't worried when the market retraced. It was all stress-free. Once I had proven to myself that my algorithms worked, I faced a new challenge. How do I scale this? I could keep trading with my own small account, or I could think bigger. That's when I discovered prop firms, companies that will give you their capital to trade with if you can prove you're profitable. The difference between approaching prop firms as a manual trader versus an algorithmic trader is literally night and day. Let me show you exactly how I went from trading a small personal account to trading multi-seven figures in prop firm capital. Look, prop firms are not magical. They're just a cash flow vehicle to increase the size of your personal buying power. At least that's how I see them. The data suggests that only 3% of traders get to the payout stage, but that data is biased towards manual traders. 95% of all traders are manual, which basically means there are lots of people out there failing prop firm challenges. And because we've already discussed, manual trading is flawed. You're constantly battling yourself and your own emotions. But when you trade algorithmically, you're basing your trading on statistics and probabilities and removing the biggest limiting factor to trading success, you. And by trading algorithmically, your chances of scaling into large amounts of trading capital are much, much better than trading manually. My approach to trading prop firms is to go very conservative, monthly returns of about 3%, but scale into large amounts of capital. 3% per month on 10 grand is okay, but 3% per month on $500,000 to $1 million is pretty cool. So that's my approach. Conservative, steady gains with large amounts of buying power. You let the algos do their thing, you check your accounts maybe once per week, and just get on with your life. This is what freedom actually looks like. Not the fake freedom that manual trading promises, but the real freedom. The freedom to live life while your algorithms work for you 24/7. The freedom free of stress or emotional decisions from the constant mental torture of trying to predict the market movements. I want to paint you a picture of what life actually looks like on the other side of this transformation, because this is what's possible to you. Firstly, I'm consistently profitable. Maybe not every month, losses are a part of the game, but every quarter and every year, definitely. I get regular prop firm payouts and I'm growing my own personal accounts. I haven't looked at a trading chart in maybe 12 months, and my total time spent trading is 0 hours per week. I always tell people that this form of trading is more like running the business of trading as opposed to being a trader. I have all the free time in the world, my results are the best I've ever had, and I'm no longer strapped to a trading screen, and I finally enjoy being involved in the markets. I finally enjoy trading. That's my story from chart staring to six-figure trader. I tell you this story not to brag, but to let you know that I was once in your shoes. I used to be just like you, and now I'm free from all of that crap. I travel the world with my algorithms trade for me 24/7, and I basically never have to stare at a chart ever again. Maybe you're stuck in a 9-to-5 job, manually trading on the side and losing money consistently. Maybe you're sitting in front of a computer right now, watching this video with TradingView on another monitor, hoping that perfect setup will appear. Or maybe you just want to join the 5% of traders who actually make money. You have to take the first step to change your trading career for the better. No one else will push you to stop staring at the chart. You have to be the one to do that for you. And listen, algorithms aren't magic. There's work involved like anything worthwhile in life. But if you found this video informative or inspirational or anything else, then consider changing your trading approach. And if you've watched this throughout the steps and you're looking for an exact step-by-step, then we can help you. If you want to learn exactly how to create your own portfolio of around 20 to 30 automated algorithms, get 6 to 7 figures in prop firm capital to trade with, then click the link in the description right now. Thanks for watching again, and I hope you're inspired by anything mentioned in this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.